Hi group. We got a question in the group about creating a live, like a workshop or course based on a workshop and then selling it for passive income. And I wanted to come in live because I have too many thoughts to type. And I wanted to talk a little bit about this idea of creating courses and then also the concept of passive income. So the first thing I want to say is that aside from from very few instances, there is no such thing as truly passive income. And so I think that's something to remember when we're talking about passive income. What we're talking about is usually income generated from sources that are not one-to-one service. And so when we can think about it that way, we can kind of get away from this idea that it's passive, then we can start thinking about what is required to make that happen. So selling a course is being able to provide a service where you're not having to show up to a meeting for to make the dollar, right? Your time is no longer bound to the money. And that's the appeal of courses and whatnot, right? This idea that my time is not directly bound to the money I'm making. And I think I love it. I think it's wonderful. Obviously, I'm doing it in this business, and so I'm a big fan. But I think there's some things that are important to know going into it. There's a bit of tech involved, so setting up the course, where to host the course, where to keep the videos, and some of these different pieces might come from different places, or you can find them all in one. So something to think about is, doing it simply, keeping it simple. There are options for example, if you have a Squarespace website, Squarespace is rolling out courses. Actually, I think they already have started to roll out the course option, or that's something that they're doing right now. And so having that integrated with Squarespace can be a really great option. If it's something that you want to kind of host low key, there's ways to set it up where it's in like a system where you don't pay monthly, but you pay per like a percentage of each sale. So there's options for that. But you'll need a place to host the course, basically a platform that's made for courses. And then you'll need to have a place to put the videos and link the videos in. And then sometimes you also need a place to put like handouts and documents, and Google Drive works great for that. So that's a little bit of the tech background. So there's a bit of tech to figure out. Depending on how you're delivering your course, you may also need an email provider. Something like MailerLite or ConvertKit or like MailChimp. There's a whole bunch of different options, and a lot of them have a free tier that is great for when you're getting started. And then beyond the tech, I think the other thing to keep in mind is that when selling courses, it's not something you're going to put on your website and then it's just going to sell. I can tell you from experience that creating a course and putting it on your website and then hoping it sells isn't really something that tends to happen a lot. If you think about your own experience by purchasing pre-recorded content or courses or anything that you're having to purchase, there's generally a sales process involved. And the person on the other side of that is in some way actively involved in selling you the thing. They're finding a way to get you to the website. They're finding a way to tell you about the offer. They're finding a way to tell you about why it's useful to you, or what's important about it. They're often running launches or sales where they create a sense of urgency to purchase the thing. There is a certain amount of psychology involved here in terms of selling a course or something that is available all the time. And often people don't buy until there's a sense of urgency. And it doesn't have to be false. It can be real urgency, like they have a problem and they need it solved right now. And so they buy this thing to solve that problem. That is an internal sense of urgency. Could be an external sense of urgency. Here's a discount code and the discount ends on XYZ date. Black Friday is a great example of urgency. The Black Friday deals are available for a short period of time. There's maybe a limited number of them, and so you are moved to purchase. And so part of selling courses is figuring out how to get the people that have that problem and need it solved in front of your offer, and then creating a sense of urgency for them to buy it. So there's a bit of sales involved in this, so like I said, accepting the idea that it's not totally passive is, I think, a great place to start when thinking about creating courses. Now, I don't want to sound negative. I'm a huge fan of this. I think there needs to be more useful content, especially around mental health, that people can access, and they can access at a good price, that they can use to help themselves to solve some of the problems that they have. And I think that having courses is a really great marketing strategy for a business. Having pre-recorded content that people can purchase on demand is a wonderful way to bring in income and get exposure. People, if they like it, they'll share it, right? So there are ways that this benefits you, and it can definitely be a really great and profitable way to bring in income. And there's going to be a learning curve in terms of creating the course, the tech involved, and also the selling of the course and the strategy behind that. So if it's something that you want to do, then I really encourage you to look into it. I really encourage you to experiment with it, to play with the idea. I think for a lot of folks that are doing it, they get stuck when they get to places they don't understand or know, or they feel intimidated. And I just want to encourage you not to let that stop you. That, like anything else in business, there's a learning curve to some of these things. And when you hit that spot, reach out for help, reach out for support, and go to YouTube. Honestly, like, I've learned so much about what I'm doing and how I'm creating the courses and the content that I'm making from YouTube videos and searching for the things that I need to know. Even on the tech side, like, how do I link this thing to that thing and make that email send when someone signs up for this thing? YouTube walkthroughs are great for that. So don't let the tech intimidate you. Don't let selling intimidate you. If this is something that's valuable and you want to get out into the world, then find a way to create it. And also recognize that, like, if you want to sell it, there's going to be sales involved, and that's okay. But it's becoming okay with that. So I hope that answers the question. Gave a little extra too, I think, in there. But it's like such a really cool thing to be able to create something and then have it benefit people out in the world. The hardest part is making sure that the right people understand that it will benefit them, so that they are moved to purchase it. So yeah, keep the questions coming. If you have more questions about this stuff, please let me know. But happy course creating.